Okay, thanks for everybody. Thanks for coming. And sorry about the little mix up on the times. I know that the traditional time is 7 o'clock, and but the meeting was called for 7:30. So what we need to do is all have the same expectation going forward that it starts at 7:30.
As loud
I
as
hope.
What?
Sorry,
What did he say? I didn't know. He said something.
Jeff, did you have something? Jeff, did you have a comment?
Okay, so do we want to do anything or do we just want to stand at ease for
Well, I was anticipating that we could just open it up for general questions, ask me anything kind of thing, only not just me. Ask anybody anything and comment, give your best suggestions, whatever. We don't generally don't have much time during these meetings for public comment, non-board member comment. So we've got Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy, and Russell on the line, and we invite you two to participate right now and share with us anything you'd like to say. No, maybe not. Well,
I'm
you're
sorry,
welcome.
my mic was muted. I was trying to figure out how to get it to work.
Okay, Russell, tell me
Uh,
what you're hoping for tonight.
Betty, Ross, I appreciate your handwritten note you sent both myself and my wife one. That was very gracious. Thank you very much.
People don't do that much anymore. It's very nice.
Um, I I'm a little disturbed with the social media content. Um, One particular post was cropped in a very strange way that used an expletive for non-consensual actions. And I don't want to use the word, but perhaps maybe it could be recropped correctly and posted so that it doesn't look so offensive. Um, I know that there was other people that had the same opinion that you have to actually click on it to see the context. You know, not everybody. I know I'm not particularly the best with technology, and I'd imagine there's other people out there that aren't probably aren't even as skilled as me. And would see that as slightly offensive. So I think that would be an awesome place to start.
Point well taken. And we do need
I, I
to,
I think
everybody's,
that's the gist of what I had to say is thanking Betty Ross and maybe getting my point across about that post.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I think we'll take that as a suggestion and going forward, I hope we'll have good, clean, positive content so that people can see the direction we want to go, not necessarily trying to get necessarily more clicks through what's the word?
The algorithms.
Yeah, through the algorithms, but through controversy, you
Thank
know.
you.
Thank you. Let's see, who else is on?
Michael Vance.
Board members. I see a bunch of board members. And oh, there's more. No, that's it. Board members and Jimmy. Jimmy, if you want to pipe up and offer any questions or suggestions to the board, would welcome that. And thanks for being here, by the way. Looks like Jimmy would like to remain muted. All right, then we'll open it up to the board. If you want to just chit chat, bring up anything, that's great. I'd love to hear it, and it's being recorded for Keith's sake. Keith teaches a class, and it's pretty hard if your job is teaching a class. It's pretty hard to get out of there whenever you want. I think the students would be a little disappointed if you just left. So, 7:30 is going to be the time going forward here, and so change your calendars if you've got a regular reminder to get out to the Independence Institute at 7 o'clock. Change that to 7:30, and then we'll all be on the same page going forward.
Need to change the website.
Good idea. We'll take that as an action item.
So, to be a stickler for the rules, the standing rules say that we should give a 28-day notice of a date change, vote on the date change, and then implement the date change the month after the vote. So if we want to follow our standing rules, then that's how we would do it. And I understand that it's
Jeff, you're
going to cause an issue.
Jeff, you're echoing.
It sounds
Everything.
like you're,
Yeah, it's because other people in the room have their unmuted.
Well, they need to mute because you were fine before.
I'm gonna wait for Betty Rose to mute.
yes, I agree, and I think we need to, as soon as we call to order,
Figure it out.
that should be the first thing. Betty Rose?
Okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry for that. Again, to repeat, the technical difficulties basically consist of we did get the equipment back from the technology director. We got a little card that says when what the instructions are and the settings are, but we did not have enough time to implement those in order to start on time. So unfortunately that was a bit of a breakdown. I thought that Mr. Savoy was going to be here to actually do the handoff, and that apparently did not happen. So I was told by Hillary, who is the woman working at the Independence Institute, that it is a fairly straightforward process. So I will show up early enough next time to have plenty of time to read through the instructions and follow the straightforward process.
We're good. I think you've done a great job, and I think if you wanted to take,
I'm also unfortunately I need to spend a few minutes to append the proposed changes to the standing rules. And so if someone else can, I'm going to mute myself again and other people can have a conversation.
okay, do you want to take 20 minutes right now and look at that memory card and sort things out? Because I think it'd be a great time if you feel like it. I'm not being heard, am I?
You're not muted.
I can
No,
hear you.
you're coming
Doug.
through.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Jeff, do you want to take 20 minutes now and look at that card or sort out the changes to the standing rules? Up to you.
Hello,
Everybody
everybody.
else heard that, right?
Blake Huber here. I'm going to read
Hi,
the statement
Blake.
of principles while Joe does his stuff. So bear with me a minute while I bring it up.
Okay,
And it's here somewhere. Okay.
so glad you're here, Blake. It wouldn't be a meeting without you.
So I have my volume turned way down so there's no feedback, so I'm not able to hear you. I've got my microphone on so that you can hear me. So, Libertarian Party Statement of Principles. We, the members of the Libertarian Party, challenge the cult of the omnipotent state and defend the rights of the individual. We hold that all individuals have the right to exercise sole dominion over their own lives and have the right to live in whatever manner they choose, as long as they do not forcibly interfere with the equal right of others to live in whatever manner they choose. Governments throughout history have regularly operated on the opposite principle, that the state has the right to dispose of their lives, the lives of individuals, and the fruits of their labor. Even within the United States, all political parties other than our own grant to government the right to regulate the lives of individuals and seize the fruits of their labor without their consent. We, on the contrary, deny the right of any government to do these things and hold that where governments exist, they must not violate the rights of any individual, namely the right to life. Accordingly, we support the prohibition of the initiation of physical force against others, the right to liberty of speech and action. Accordingly, we oppose all attempts by government to abridge the freedom of speech and press, as well as government censorship in any form, and the right to property. Accordingly, we oppose all government all government interference with private property, such as confiscation, nationalization, and eminent domain, and support the prohibition of robbery, trespass, fraud, and misrepresentation. Sorry, somebody's in my shot. Sorry. Such governments, when instituted, must not violate individual rights. We oppose all interference by government in the areas of voluntary and contractual relations among individuals. People should not be forced to sacrifice their lives and property for the benefit of others. They should be left free. Mute yourself, please. We should be left free to deal with one another as free traders, and the resultant economic system, the only one compatible with the protection of the individual rights, is the free market. Thank you. No worries. I will now mute myself.
Do we have anybody here that wants to make public comment?
It's already asked for that. No, it's here. Anybody here want to make public comment?
John?
Sure. All right, so you're gonna have to get to a microphone.
Good evening, this is Frank Atwood. I happen to be chair of the Approval Voting Party and want to express congratulations to those that have been elected to office and wish the Libertarian Party well. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Good to see you again.
And you are thanked, Frank.
Okay, I forgot to introduce one of our most important, or my most important non-board members. That's Robin Early, my sweetheart and wife. Here there she is. Thank you for being here. You're kind of stuck here because you live here. Anybody else have any topics for general discussion? We have 15 minutes. And Frank, I know you have more to say than that.
Tell them there's cookies here.
Pardon me?
You may be able to see that Frank is eating a cookie.
The cookies are great. I
It's
encourage people to come in and assist in the cookies.
a full service political party.
We can step this up.
All right, so who's going to be in charge of fixing the website so the new meeting time is on there? Is that on me
Don't we have
and
to vote on it?
Robin?
They don't want
We're not changing the date, just the time, right?
I don't say, I've already said my piece. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse.
Requires 28 days notice.
Well, not on this copy. But if you go to Elpedia and you, I mean, that's the latest copy that I've
Yeah,
seen. is
But I
the-
don't think it said it required 28 days notice.
If you look at Rule 1,
Oh, it could be. I just haven't seen it in a while.
Get that confirmed, because if so, I'll make that motion, I'm not gonna touch it, unless we know for sure, so. I'll back you on it if we can prove it. If it's okay to move it, I'm fine with moving it, if it's not okay with moving it, then
well, it's a process, I guess.
I got it. Understand? Saying if that is in fact the process, I
The
will push
process is
that.
to give notice today
Agree.
that we are going to amend the time. The 7 p.m.
7:30.
7:30, yeah, my apologies. Going to amend the time so that it reads 7:30 p.m. And then which is the next board meeting, we would vote
I agree.
to approve
The
that.
point is, do we have that in writing somewhere? If so, recite what it says, I will move that. Next
Well, all you
month
have to
is
do
a
is give
7.
notice at this.
I'm looking at the standard.
I'll back you on it, but that is in fact in writing.
Yes, so if that needs to be voted on, great. That can be one of our first orders of business when
Yeah,
Keith
so-
gets here.
Don't mind me reading it.
Thanks.
Standing, number one, the regular monthly meeting of the board shall convene in the main meeting room of the Independence Institute on the second Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Local time or as soon thereafter as quorum is met, the date and time of the section shall not be amended without notice at least 28 days in advance. And such amendment shall not take effect until the following time.
So
I don't know if this is the proper
Notice for
time.
next meeting today, and then it couldn't take effect until January.
Okay, so in December, we vote on it, and then, okay, so if, I'll read it into there if you'll let me read that, and I'll make that motion. See where it goes, thank you.
Well, we have to, has the meeting been called to order? Quorum,
That's good.
the meeting to be called to order.
You have to have it.
Yes. Well, you can do it by email.
Yes,
too.
sir.
I don't know if this is the proper time, but I do have issues to raise over access to our infrastructure, our database, and Civi and all that. So I can either get into that now or tell me when a good time would be.
I think it's a great time.
Well, I hold two positions. One is database manager at the state level. And when I went in to start granting everyone access and permissions to Civi, I realized that I'd been locked out. So I still don't have access to do that properly and make sure that everyone has NDAs, etc. Almost a bigger issue is that I'm also chair of Jefferson County, and I wasn't able to send out emails before the election because all my Civi access was taken away. So I'm looking to get answers on how that happened and who does have access and, how this all is working. Because I don't know, I've been locked out of it since convention.
Yeah, and I'm the
Same
outreach
here.
director, and I'm also locked out of it.
And as legislative director, I was going to send out emails regarding one, civil asset forfeiture, which I'll talk about more later. But this second, LLMM, and then other voting guides for other individuals. So I was not able to do my job as legislative director.
Yeah, and obviously I can't exactly count the membership, email the membership, engage the membership, or recruit the membership when I can't access, the membership. So
So
So I think we need to find out who is managing Civi because it used to be LNC, but they're not using it anymore. So I think it's Ken Mulman. I don't know why he would have cut off anyone's. I suspect that is Keith here. I don't see Keith. I don't know why he would have cut off access before convention when no, unless someone on the prior board told him to do that.
Right. Jeff, can you speak to that?
Can he even hear you?
Jeff, can you hear me okay? You're on mute.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties here at the Independence Institute. He did hear it and he's trying to get on.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Definitely.
All right. All right. So what happened was that I'm gonna wait until Joe's phone is all right. Joe's phone's quiet. All right. So what happened was that during the convention, voting results were being posted to various other recipients, and word was sent to Ken Mulman that that we had achieved a victory, and out of an abundance of caution, Ken decided to revoke all of the privileges to everybody. And then he contacted me and he said that he's given me privileges. And then I have proceeded to try to restore privileges. The trouble is that it seems like the RBAC system, that's a very technical term, but let's just say the privileges are in some cases overly broad. And so we're in an awkward position of having to give a lot of people too much access so that they can get their jobs done. And this is not a very secure system in that respect, and it is not a very good practice. Even for the simple issue of making sure that no one inadvertently makes a mistake. And so part of the idea behind privileges is to serve as guardrails against bad code, bugs in the code, so forth and so on. And so it's been a slow process because as much as everyone tried to have a smooth transition between administrations, unfortunately, there have been a few things that have kind of fallen through the cracks one way or another. And so this is one of them. I'm sorry that you have not been able to do your jobs. I really regret that, and I will work with Ken to figure out the best way to restore access as soon as possible.
Okay.
So who does still have access to update the website? Because the website is still being updated.
There's a handful of people. Like I said, Ken granted me, I granted access to Sean Badney because he is the communications director, and he has it's his purview. And then Mr. Laube asked me for access, and I granted him access because he's the state chair. And then Mr. Jersman has been granted access because he has a lot of familiarity with Civi CRM. And I expect to be able to get Mr. Atkin granted privileges soon because he is on the list of authorized contractors that LP States has issued. So that's, I guess you could call that the core. And then, like I said, I will try to give everyone the access they need
Hey,
to
echoing again. There we go. Great.
try to give everyone the access that they need to get their jobs done.
When can we expect Mr. Melter to get his access back, especially as database manager? And that would be under Civi would be under his purview.
We will look into that.
Why have you not already? That seems like it should be a top priority.
Yeah.
I have been working on this for weeks, guys.
Well, let's have this discussion when Mr. Lauby convenes the meeting, and there is a point in the order of business where it is appropriate to discuss the database committee.
I'm curious why we're still using Civi when IS Political has been implemented.
Because we don't email through that. It doesn't integrate with all the services like Civi does. Plus,
Which,
it doesn't hold all the same data.
I'm not grilling you, Ross, I swear. I'm just curious. What data
No,
does
I
it
know.
not have?
I'm just answering your
I
question.
know, just wanted to make sure. What data does it have that Civi, or what data does Civi have that IS Political doesn't?
Basically, it's the way it holds relationships and like who's a candidate, all kinds of details like that. It's not built to be a CRM. It's built to be a financial reporting system. So the type of data that it holds is just different. It's shaped differently. The relations are structured differently. It has a completely different objective.
Seems like we're spending a lot of money for something that's not giving us much use.
Well, the use is that it basically guarantees that we report on time and that we don't rack up fees. That's
Yeah.
what we're paying for.
I just am not being argumentative, but I filed on time all the time without it. It's $350 a month. I mean, my understanding when we voted to implement ICE Political was that we'd be able to use it for more than just filing. And that it was like a CRM system. I'd be interested if maybe just you and I can kind of walk through ICE Political, and see what it can and cannot do for us, if it's even worth having. I mean, I can take data from Stripe and use different AI tools and apps and barely do anything for free. Or get the same amount done with barely doing anything for free.
Sure, I'm open to that. This was this was not my decision to start using that. So yeah, I'm open to discussing that.
That's a great discussion. Can iPolitical use the data from Civi, or at least a subset of that data?
I think it is. I don't know that it's coming from Civi though. Sorry, Ross, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not like a direct integration. It doesn't automatically update, but we could do manual imports one way or the other.
Okay. And
The selling point on IS Political, Doug, just FYI, is you can file directly with the feds and the state. So it's not a lot of in Tracer, you have to enter things in one by one. or you have to work with them and have them test and upload, which we can do too. So once there's upload functionality, it's not very time consuming. I struggle to justify $350 to spend if that's all we're using it for.
Okay, but it is a fully functioning CRM, iPolitical then.
Not
that-
fully functioning in the respect that we can't send emails through it like we could with Civi if we integrated it with something like MailChimp. But again, it just ends up costing a lot more than the way we currently have it set up with an AWS mail server, which is like a couple bucks a month for thousands of emails, whereas going with an integrated service like MailChimp would cost us a lot more. So that's why we never got it hooked up that far through ISP.
Right. Right. Okay, I'm glad we had that discussion now. And then we can have, during the business part, we can make any resolutions we need to and adopt any motions we need to, but that background really helps me personally.
Doug, if I may, a previous topic.
Sure.
Concerning changing the time from 7 to 7:30. I'm going to read from our standing rules that were adopted on 11/12/21. It says that regular board meetings of the board shall convene in the main meeting room of the Independence Institute on the second Monday of the month at 7 p.m. local time, or as soon thereafter as a quorum is met. Date and time in this section shall not be amended without notice at least 28 days in advance. Such amendment shall not take effect until the following calendar month, which means that if we move that this evening, it will take effect in January. So the December meeting will start at 7. We could probably do the same format that we're doing here today, but the official start time would change to 7:30 in January due to our current standing rules.
Very good. Thank you for looking into that.
Absolutely.
And we're all very well informed now. Keith should be here any second now. There's
here.
Keith. Hi, Keith.
I'm here.
We didn't gavel in anything because I didn't have a gavel. There we go.
Okay.
We recorded it though, so you can go back and hear the discussion that we had.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. So I'll call the regular board meeting, Libertarian Party of Colorado order on November 10th, 2025, and it's 7:32. Click. Looking at the agenda that I have here. Not sure we had special order to amend the standing rules. Is that our first order of business, Jeff?
Yes, so the motion is to strike the word time limit and to strike all of the times in parentheses on the standing order of business so that we can have a little more flexibility when dealing with all of the items. And that would take a second.
Okay. Did we get copies? I didn't see it's supposed to be under Appendix A. Did we ever get that sent to us?
I thought I sent it. No, hang on. It's still in my outbox.
Hate when that happens.
Can't spell. Attaching.
So you're sending it to the board? There it is, okay.
It should have just been delivered. I don't know if Doug is able to pull things up and share his screen, or if Doug would like to let me share my screen. Then I can try to put things up for people to look at.
Okay. I will attempt to allow you to share yours. Where are you?
He's right there.
Oh,
Oh, so it looks like, Jeff, what you just stated is what you have on your document then.
Yeah, and I forgot to, oh, yeah, I guess.
There you go.
So again, without objection, I'd like to remove the special guest speaker.
second.
You should be able to share now.
Thank you. Was that Doug?
Well,
Yeah, that was Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
so we're on a motion to remove the special guest speaker from the agenda. So basically an approval agenda now.
That's true. The main motion is the adoption of the agenda, and this would be an amendment to that motion.
I think you lost me there, but so basically going back, we did roll call. Now we're going to approve the agenda. And so you have an item to strike the special guest from the agenda.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Anybody object or abstain? Hearing none, the agenda is approved with the striking of the special guest speaker item. And now what I have on my agenda is to amend the standing rule that Jeff just proposed previously. Mike, have a question?
No, nothing really. I just wanted to point out that Natalie Minton is amazing. She's fantastic, and Colorado is better for her. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe Jeff, I don't know what gets, you said time and date gets struck from meetings wherever it appears.
So if we look at the standing rules and special rules dated from, I think it's November the 12th of 2021. It's whatever is on Elpedia. That was the last revision that I could find. And within that, there is the section on agenda, and then there's a standing order of business, which is very similar to the standing order of business in Robert's Rules of Order. And I felt that we should just remove the time limit so that we don't have that additional burden, and we can just move through the agenda without time limits, and then we'll just have to police ourselves sort of on the fly. Am I not making sense?
Well, I think, yeah, there's agenda item. There's also meetings. The first standing rule is meetings, and that's one that has the 7 p.m. local time on Mondays, second Monday of the month. Is that what you want to revise or remove?
No, well, so there's been a little bit of discussion before you called in, and it was pointed out that according to the standing rules, we give notice. So we would do that this meeting. And then at the next meeting, we would vote on the time change, and then the meeting after that, which would be January, is when the time change would take effect. And it's a little awkward, but people have already looked this up online, and that's kind of the rule that we're operating under.
Okay.
And I
So-
believe that Joe Johnson actually wanted to give notice about this motion. And so I can record that in the minutes. It was a little unclear as to whether or not notice could have just been given before you got here, and so that we didn't have to take time with it, but here we are now.
Yeah, okay. And so what is your proposal?
My proposal was just pretty narrow. It was just to take the word time limits off of the standing order of business, and then to take those times that are in parentheses off, and then we would just be left with a bare order of business. So basically something that happened at the convention, same thing, like the agenda, we just tore off all the times, and we just got through it as best we could, as fast as we could.
And that's under what section? Under agendas?
Yes. Let me
Okay.
try to.
Yeah, I see the time limits. Okay. So basically remove the time limits. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to raise my hand, but I'm gonna go ahead and object to abolishing time limits. Like, but people have schedules outside of once every month having a 4 hour or never ending. Like, you're asking for a never ending time limit. Just go until you guys are done. That's not really reasonable to ask of constituents, sustaining members who are interested in what's going on. Sit here from, not only are you moving it later, you're moving it to 7:30, but you're also removing the time limit. This could, if it's anything like that convention, people get on the mic and talk for 5 hours. You guys cut me off after 2 minutes, right? But everybody else has gone on and on for 10, 15 minutes. If you guys remove the time limits, this could be bad. People have lives. You have to consider that. You guys need to be able to do this in a timely manner. And if you can't, then find somebody to manage your meetings that will keep it timely.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I
Jeff.
would like to raise a point of order. During business, the only people who can object are board members.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the objection, and I believe that the overall time limit of an hour and a half, as provided in the very first standing rule, will keep us from talking forever.
So just to make sure we're all clear, Jeff, the motion is to take the times out of the agenda so that we're not limited 15 minutes on topic X, or limited to go in that specific order, but we are maintaining the time limit for the entire meeting to an hour and a half.
That is correct.
I'm not super concerned about that. I think the only issue maybe is if we do spend too much time on one topic that we miss out on others.
And actually, we have another. I submitted a revision of this whole rules, which I don't know if that got sent out or not, but that's on the end of the agenda for today, tonight. And that would remove a lot more stuff than just this. But I guess we're going through the agenda, and this is the item first. So just so people know that there'll be more later.
That's correct.
right.
I just wanted to do this right away to try to get the time limits out of the way, and then we could, work with other items at our leisure.
Okay. Any
And
other
I'm
discussion?
and I'm trusting on you to rule with an iron rod.
Any other board members have discussion on this item? Okay. Anybody object to the proposed change or abstain? Hearing none, those parts of the agenda are revised. Okay. So I guess I jumped in. I did see we have read and approve the agenda, which you did. Introduction of guests. Did you guys do that already? Do you want to do that now?
Well, Mr. Chairman, that's actually one of the time limits I wanted to take off because I didn't want us to spend 2 minutes per guest.
I thought it was 2 minutes each. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yes, all the board members were introduced.
Okay.
I see Kurt has joined us. Kurt, if you want, well, I'll turn the time back to you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. So Kurt, if you want to introduce yourself, you may do that this time.
Kurt Wild, Forester, Vice Chair for El Paso County Libertarian Party.
Okay. So we'll move to the next item is to read and approve the minutes.
No, I don't want to spend time on that. All right, I would like to, since the draft of the minutes was emailed out, was everyone able to read them before this meeting? If so, I would like to move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Second.
I would like to ask if there are any amendments that people would like to offer to the minutes. Therefore, I would like to move the adoption of the minutes as they were emailed.
I second that motion.
Okay.
It's Doug.
And motion is second to adopt the minutes. Anybody object or abstain? Hearing none, the minutes are adopted. We'll go to the office of reports. If you don't have anything to report, that's fine. Everybody submitted the report. Well, I think everybody did. I have nothing to add to my report. Vice Chair.
I have nothing to add, really. It's all
Treasurer. Yeah, thank you, Doug. Treasurer.
Only thing is I was looking at contributions via Stripe. I honestly don't know if Anadot is something different and there's funds coming in from there. So I do want to touch base with Ashley. I could also do a Google search, but I haven't gotten to that yet. So if it is separate from Stripe, there could be potential additional contributions coming from there.
Okay. Thank you, Allison. Secretary, Jeff.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to my report.
All right. Affiliates.
I do have something to add. So on the 22nd of November, there will be a presentation, I guess, at my house by Wayne on how to grow affiliates. And anybody's welcome.
And what city do you live in, Janet?
Colorado Springs.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And that information, will that be on our website, or how are you going to publicize that?
It's not.
Or is it a private sort of
It's
small
kind of
group?
more, yeah, like who.
Because you don't want the whole state showing up at your house.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's primarily just to give us information on how to grow affiliates so that I can effectively do my position and have others help me with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Campaigns, Joe.
Nothing to add to my published report.
Okay. Communications, Sean. Oh, we didn't do roll call, did we? Did I miss that? Is Sean here?
Sean has not shown up.
We didn't do roll call, Jeff. Did you guys do that before I came on? Probably not.
No.
I need to back up. I'm sorry. This is my first
No,
day.
I didn't. I did not do roll call.
Let's do a roll call.
Keith is here. Doug is here. I am here. Ms. Spink is here. Janet is here. Joe is here. Mr. Vadney appears to be absent. Ms. Ryan is here. Mr. Vance is here. Mr. Nelson, is here. And Ms. Steinke is here.
Okay, excellent. So everybody present except for Sean. All right. Fundraising, Betty Rose.
Oh, I have nothing to add except that I do have a tentative budget, but it's weak.
Okay. Legislative, Michael.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. And membership, Mark.
Nothing new to add. Past my report.
Okay. And then outreach, Kirsten. Anything to add?
Nothing to add. Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
All right. Thank you. So next item on the agenda is the LNC report. Who provides the LNC report?
I don't think it has been provided by our affiliate, I'm sorry, by the regional representative. There may be a report to download from lp.org, but we are not in possession of that.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to the standing committees report. Most of these are vacant right now. The audit committee is supposed to be appointed by the non-officers of the board within 60 days of the convention, so you have until December. Is there any update on that at all, or is that still trying to find people? Anybody want to say anything about that? Okay, hearing none. Welcome, Sean. We just started here a little bit ago. Sean, I'm going to back up. We went through director reports. Do you have anything to add to your director's report that you'd like to say in this meeting?
Hey there. Sorry I'm late, guys. I do not have anything. No. Everything's going well on my end. Just been really trying to be active on Facebook. Yeah, everything's going well.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
I'm jumping around the agenda a lot here, but so going back to the mandated committees, there's no bylaws committee. That'll be after the spring convention. Judicial will be, we voted last meeting to elect that at the 2026 convention. Nominations, platform rules, style, vacancy are all vacant at this time. Board constituted committees, the database committee. Ross Metler, you have anything to add or say?
Sorry, what was that you were asking for comment on?
We're just doing standing or the committee's reports. Do you have anything to report?
No, nothing to report. And if I need to be putting together committees, let me know.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Jeff.
I move to discharge the database committee.
Okay, we have a motion to discharge the database committee. We have a second. Hearing.
I'd like to hear some more reasoning behind it.
Betty Rose has seconded.
Did you second, Betty Rose?
I seconded. I want to
Okay,
hear the
so we have a
reasons.
second. Okay, discussion.
I believe that it is necessary at this point in time for the board to take back the authorization and to make a new plan for the conduct of the administration of the database.
Any other discussion?
I would agree we need a better plan for administering the database, considering we've had some issues, but some of those issues seem to involve the fact that our database administrator doesn't have access to it. So I think the starting point for fixing this would be making sure that Ross can access and fix the things he's been trying to fix.
Keith, before you jumped on, we had a little bit of discussion on Civi and IS Political. I hear what you or heard what you were saying earlier, Jeff, about different roles and responsibilities. And I completely get that perspective because there's a lot of personal information in Civi, and we don't want everyone having access to that. I think from my perspective at this point in time, there's not a clear path in what database we even want to use. What are the features of each different database? If we continue using Civi, if there's something better than Civi and IS Political, where I think Ross's knowledge of the systems would be beneficial if we chose to take another path. I'm not sure I completely understand the reasoning behind it, but I'm definitely apprehensive on quote unquote pulling the trigger on that at this point in time without more clarification on why we think that's needed.
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of the other things which you brought that up, and we brought him in because we have major problems that needed to be resolved, and he's put in tons of work, and there's a lot more that needs to be done, and now we're saying we're dissolving it. I'm with, I think, a lot of the board when the reaction is, huh?
No,
Yeah, the solution to a screwy database, or rather screwy administrative system, is to have no administrative system. The first step may just to be to continue fixing it rather than, because as is, we effectively don't have much. And if we do this, it sounds like we'd have nothing operational for a little bit here. That'd be fairly critical.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think that if we were to do this, this is going to be a great hindrance to a lot of our roles. We need database. We need somebody to run the database. And Ross has done an excellent job. Whenever I have an issue with Civi, he's always one of the first people to help me out, and he gets on it right away. So I think that we'd be making a grave mistake if we were to get rid of Ross and his duties, because we need somebody to control the data, and we need somebody who is going that we can trust. And I also believe that. And also somebody who has the experience to troubleshoot the issues that are that we might have in Civi. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've screamed at Civi plenty. I've voted against Civi, but at the same time, when we explore other options, I don't necessarily know right now if there is a better option. And just making it a rash decision right now, I think is going to be extremely detrimental to the party. So I think we need to keep Ross on, and he's got a lot of experience that we can rely on, and I think that's going to be best for us going forward if we utilize Ross's knowledge.
Anybody else want to comment or question? Hearing none, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Do you want to read the motion again, Jeff?
The motion is to discharge the database committee.
Okay, we'll go, no more discussion, we'll go to vote. Is there any objections or abstain from approving this?
I
I
object.
object.
Okay, so let's do a roll call vote.
Doug,
I abstain. I just don't have the expertise in this matter.
I vote aye. Treasurer,
Nay.
affiliates,
Oh, I abstain. I don't have enough knowledge to really make a,
campaigns,
Abstain.
communications,
Nay.
fundraising,
Nay.
legislative,
No.
membership,
Absolutely nay.
outreach.
Nay.
There is one aye. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nays. There are 3 abstentions.
So it looks like it fails. Anything else in database? On the agenda, we'll move to technology. I did receive, actually Doug and I received an email from Justin Savoy on yesterday. He has resigned from being the technology person.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Jeff.
I move to discharge the technology committee.
There's been a motion to dissolve the technology committee. Is there a second? I see people reaching, but I don't hear anything.
Second. What does the technology committee do?
Yeah, let's have a discussion on that. All I know, I talked to Justin a week or so ago, and it seemed like what he did, and anybody can correct me, but he did set up the meetings every month at the Independence Institute, which you have to drive downtown to do that, and it took a lot of time. And he did his service, and he did it for quite a while, and then he helped out at the convention, the state convention. He helped set up the audio and video. And that's really his responsibilities. That's what he did.
So sorry, I think we're kind of discussing without a second on the motion, but I'm just
Oh,
kind
Betty
of
Rose seconded, I think. Is that correct, Betty Rose?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the intention? I mean, Justin's resigned. We have technically no technology committee, even without dissolving it. But if we dissolve the committee, what do we plan to do for convention, and who's going to be at the Institute to get everything working, so that we're not struggling with tech at the beginning of meetings?
And not just then. I mean, I'm completely behind everything Allison is saying, but not just convention, like even these meetings where we could get into a routine, but like other times when we present, like for outreach events and everything, it seems like we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we were to do this.
I mean, if we have someone here, if someone on the board can do this stuff, then I'm not super concerned about it. But I know I'm not capable of doing that, and I don't know everyone else's technological capabilities. But if we get rid of the committee and we don't have anyone on the board, then I speculate that leaves us paying for someone to do this stuff. And I don't know who all looked at the treasurer report, but we don't have all that much money. We have a convention coming up, and I need to look back. We may have our yeah, sorry. I just don't know that we have that much money that we want to be spending it on someone to do tech work if we can have a volunteer doing it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Joe Johnson campaigns. My question is do we actually need a committee to have somebody do this? In other words, who would this fall under if we had a volunteer willing to do it? If we don't have a committee?
Good question. Jeff, did you have some ideas with your motion of, I mean, the big one would be the monthly meetings if we want to keep televising these and or live streaming them.
Well, to reiterate, the idea is to take the control back into the province of the board, and the board will come up with a solution. And then that may involve creating one or more committees, or it may just end up falling to a volunteer under one of the directors.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Joe.
Joe again. It's been a while since I was a chair, but I was chair of Boulder County. We didn't have any of these committees, and we found volunteers to do these jobs, and most of them fell under the vice chair. If that's the intention, I support this, but just need to make sure that these jobs are being taken care of somewhere.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Anybody would like to speak?
Allison, did you want to speak?
Sorry, I just wanted to ask Jeff, like, what is the concern with the committee? That committees can make decisions on their own?
Well, we don't have minutes, so it's kind of uncertain as to what kinds of decisions were made in the past.
Okay.
It may well be that if we decide to reconstitute the committee, we may want to give it a budget, in which case they would have a fiduciary responsibility to spend the money appropriately. And to answer your earlier question, I'm about 20 minutes drive from the Independence Institute, and so I'm willing to serve as the interim audio video guy. The unfortunate circumstances of this evening are that I arrived here, I was expecting to meet Mr. Savoy and to get a run through, and he was not anywhere to be found except for a small memory card which is marked instructions and settings. So I am going to confer with Hillary, who is the one who signs out the rooms, and she says the process is pretty straightforward, and I will come down here during the day when somebody is available to answer any questions, assuming that the instructions are confusing. But I believe that the next meeting I will be able to get down here knowing that I'm going to wing it. And so I'll come here a couple of hours in advance to make sure that everything is set up and working. And we can, for the time being, we can make do with that interim solution.
Okay. Michael Vance, you have a question? A comment? Michael, I see your hands up. Do you have a comment or a question?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I don't understand the point of shutting down a technology committee if we're going to have to vote just to start it back up. Why don't we just find somebody to replace Justin? Seems like the simpler and cleaner option.
Okay. Any other comments? So we have a motion, a second on the floor. Do you want to read that motion one more time before we vote on it, Jeff?
The motion is to discharge the technology committee.
Anybody object or abstain?
Object.
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 Let's do a roll call vote.
Vice Chair,
Nay.
Secretary votes aye. Treasurer,
Nay.
affiliates,
Nay.
campaigns.
Yeah.
You said aye.
Yes. Aye.
Communications,
Nay.
fundraising,
Aye.
legislative,
Nay.
membership. Mr.
He was
Nelson,
having connectivity problems.
outreach,
Nay.
there are 2 ayes and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 nays.
So the motion fails. So as far as technology, I guess I heard, Jeff, you would be able to be the interim because we need someone for next month, and be that person to set it up at the Independence Institute. I would think it would be wise to have a second person available. And so I think we should look for somebody that would be interested in doing that lives close, close to the downtown Denver area, preferably, but doesn't matter as long as they're willing to learn how to do that and maybe do that to help Jeff out when need be. So I don't know if you don't want to do that long term, Jeff, do you?
At this point, I probably don't.
Yeah.
Mr. Huber has offered to help me out.
Okay. Any other things about the technology committee?
I just want to mention that we do have greater technology needs than just the database and opening up the building and getting meetings started. We will need, or I will need some help with technology as far as forms and scripts and things on our website that aren't necessarily database related. So having a general technology person would be very helpful to me. So let's keep our ears open, our eyes open, find somebody.
Yeah. Well put, Doug. I mean, our technology was more audio video than I guess what I call technology, but that was the name we gave the committee. Anything else about technology? The last committee we have is the welcoming committee, and I'm not sure, was Mark Montoni on that one at one time, or who is the current welcoming person?
My understanding is that Mark Montoni is still the welcoming committee. I cannot explain why it has been removed from the leadership page.
Yeah, okay. Any comments? Mark's not here. I don't think so. Any comments about the welcoming committee? Okay. Hearing none. Special committee reports, if any. We have the mandated committees, the convention committee. Anything on that? Betty Rose.
We have been trying to find a venue. It's not easy. I don't know how much money we have in the treasury, so I'm not sure what we have available. I have a budget, and it appears that it will cost us about $10,000, but this includes all the advertising that we have to do and the postage, the caging. Caging is the cost of running the credit cards and so on and so forth. It's available if anyone wants to look at it. It's based on the DoubleTree where we get the space free if we spend $11,000 in food. In the past, Michelle and I have done the conventions on our dime, didn't cost the party anything, but we also had a year lead time. We just don't have enough time. So I'm asking the committee, well, first of all, Allison, do we have any money in the treasury at all?
In the state account, we have less than $7,000, I believe. There might have been some funds that came out of there that should have came out of the federal account. I need to do some research on that. But it sounds like the convention would completely wipe out our state account if we spent $11,000.
Okay. My budget, unless we can figure out how to sell more tickets, we would fall about $10,000 short using the DoubleTree. We will continue to look for something. Daniel Lutz found a venue. We pay for the room. It's $150 an hour, which is quite a bit. But we don't have to buy food or anything like that. So we will continue to look, and I hope to have something firm within the next 2 weeks. Janet, do you have anything from the committee?
No.
So I would ask the committee to vote on a budget, but we don't have any money, so we'll see if we can't do this at a break even.
And I get we'll get some of those funds back, Betty. My concern is just timing of when we would have to pay things and when we would get any funds from the convention.
Right. And on my budget, because I have the advertising and the caging and stuff, that's usually absorbed by the party, I suspect. And that would bring this down to a more reasonable amount. I will see if I can't get more people to pledge on a monthly basis so that maybe we can refill those coffers.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions for Betty Rose? Thank you, Betty Rose. Next one is the credentials is vacant. I think we can wait until next year to worry about that. Investigation is vacant. Special orders, designation of an assistant treasurer. Do we have, who wants to speak on this topic? I don't know who presented this. Is something you're working on, Allison, or want to have an assistant treasurer?
No to both.
I was in discussion with Bennett Rutledge, and he has offered to serve, so I would like to move that he be designated as the assistant treasurer.
I have a question. Are we bound? Sorry, I'm in the middle of your motion. Are we bound by bylaws to have an assistant treasurer, or is it just
Yes.
mentioned in the bylaws?
Yes, we are bound by the bylaws.
Okay. So what is the process that we follow to fill a position like this? Do we have a, I mean, Bennett obviously offered, so I don't want to disregard his offer, but is there other people that would like to be that we don't know about, that we haven't informed anybody about this position?
There is not a process for solicitation similar to other committees or positions. It's just a requirement that we designate someone.
Yeah. Since it's assistant treasurer, I guess I would like to have Allison's input if you know, if you know, put her on the
Thank
spot,
you.
but you know, it's really maybe her job to try to find assistant that she thinks would be a good treasurer in the future, or someone that she can work with and train.
Yeah, so I'm not a bylaws person, and I'm using my BFF GPT to see where in the bylaws it says it. I don't know where in the bylaws it says it. Jeff, would you be able to send a little blurb or a link to me so that I can see that? And then second from that, if it is in the bylaws, I mean, I don't need an assistant treasurer. I think this is a very not time intensive role. I don't really like working with people. I mean, if it's a bylaws requirement, I can, you know, designate my son to help me with it. He's taking an accounting class in high school. But yeah, I guess my thing is I'd like to see that it is definitively in the bylaws. And if we do, then I would like to take some time to fill that role as opposed to just not, no offense to Bennett, and appreciate his willingness. He communicated this at convention as well. But yeah, I'd like to take some time and make sure.
Mr. Chair, Joe Johnson.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead, Jeff.
Being a student of Stoicism, there's the term memento mori. I wish no ill will on Allison, but she could get in a car accident and not be with us, and then we would be in trouble with the state if we do not have a treasurer. So the level of involvement of the assistant treasurer is not what is at discussion here. It's making sure that we are legal and above board should something ever happen to our treasurer.
I probably didn't follow Robert's rules because Jeff had a motion. I didn't ask for a second. So it's just, this is my first day on the job. It says, so is there a second on the motion?
I second.
Okay. So then, yeah, then we have this discussion. So anybody else want to discuss about assistant treasurer?
Mr. Chairman, I move to commit to table this motion.
Postpone it to the next meeting?
Yeah, give Allison some time to stew on it and do some research.
Okay. So we have a motion to postpone this. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion on postponing? Anybody oppose or abstain from postponing this to next month's meeting? Hearing none, let's talk about this next month and do a little research and because I don't know, I read it somewhere in the bylaws too, but I didn't know the exact wording of that. So that's where assistant treasurer is next month. Appointment of audit committee. Anybody have any comments on that? That will need to be voted on next meeting to meet the 60-day requirement.
Do we have anyone that wants to be on the committee that will vote on?
The bylaws require that the non-officers on the board appoint an audit committee. The audit committee is supposed to give a report to the next convention of their findings.
Yeah, it's just going to be hard to appoint people if no one wants to do it. So I was just curious if there was any volunteers looking to be on the committee, or if that's something that we need to be looking.
Blake Huber and John Jersman are present at Independence Institute with us, and they have both volunteered to be on the committee. Did she?
Yeah, well, she volunteered to be on those.
Did she? Betty Rose thinks that Beatrice Sutton has also volunteered to be on the audit committee, so that would be 3 people.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
guess
sure
it's up to
if
the
we got a
non-officers.
second for that. I mean, I'm put it on the agenda and I will move it.
I think it really needs to come from the non-officers.
I don't understand why that was put into the bylaws, but that's what it says.
are you making a motion, Jeff, or?
Well, I suppose that I guess this is a little awkward. I guess one of the non-officers
Yeah.
is actually going to have to make the motion to approve the 3 volunteers.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Do we have a second?
I second. Doug
Uh,
Jones.
non-officer.
Oh, yes.
I'll second.
Bedro seconds. So we have a motion to appoint Blake Huber, John Jersman, and Beatrice Sutton to the audit committee. And do we know all 3 said yes for sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So any of this is the non-officers, any objections or anybody abstain from appointing those 3 people to the audit committee? Hearing none, we have an audit committee. Congratulations, and thank you for serving on the audit committee beforehand. All right. Next item on the agenda is seating bylaws, platform, and style committees.
Mr. Chairman, I put that onto the agenda because I believe that we should seat a committee. We should follow the process and solicit for volunteers, and we should solicit from the affiliates for their representatives, and that they should begin their work, which should have started back in 2024. I think that given the short amount of time between this year's convention and next year's convention, and all of the things that we need to accomplish in terms of getting candidates nominated, and of course, board elections and a few other things, that we can begin the process. We can solicit, we can seat the committee, and they can go to work, and they'll have extra time to deliver recommendations to the 2027 convention. So I'm not saying that we need to take any action actually right now, but I do think we should begin that process.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we should look for people to be on these 3 committees. And so in the future, we can do action and actually appoint these committees.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that topic? So now we're to general orders, unfinished business. I presented amendments to the Board of Standing Rules and Special Rules. I don't know if that got to anybody. I did email it to you, Doug, about 10 minutes ago. I don't know if you can post that. My take is the more rules we have, the more chance we're not going to meet all the rules. And I thought some of these just seem like, it's like a minefield going through them and trying to meet all these rules. So, some are just, I didn't think were that necessary. Some of the secretary duties are really outlined in the bylaws and our general rules for a normal secretary. And then the standing agenda, like today we went through that. We spent extra 5 minutes and people don't have comments. And so I'd rather have an agenda put together and topics we're actually going to cover rather than go through a whole list of things that are not going to be covered or nobody has any comment on. Unfortunately, nobody had a chance to read this ahead of time. So is that that's the clean copy. Did I send the other one? I might have sent you the one that was marked up. I wanted to send you that one, and maybe I sent the wrong one.
There was an updated agenda that I sent during some discussion of some point. So I think the board has received that. Should be timestamp of sometime after 7 o'clock, possibly 8 o'clock.
Yeah, let me. So did people get a chance to read through that?
Unfortunately, they did not. I wasn't able to send it out in advance of the meeting. I apologize to the board.
Okay. Yeah, so I just set the one with edit shown. Hopefully that one. Yeah, there you go, Doug. Why is it? It's making auto corrections. What it's doing? Why is it doing that? Let me.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move that we postpone this till the next meeting so that the members have an opportunity to read and deliberate.
You have a second to postpone.
Yeah, I was about to do the same thing.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Okay. Anybody object or abstain to postponing this to next month meeting? Hearing none, we'll talk about it next month then. And then we have nobody saw the Independent Institute event space agreement either, I suppose then. Anybody see that and read it?
My Zoom just crashed. Wait,
Okay, hearing none.
Please hold, Mr. Chair. We're having technical difficulties. The secretary is trying to get back onto Zoom.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, thank you. I believe execution of an agreement with the Independence Institute would fall under the administrative duties of the chair, and that there is no need to get an approval from the board if no money is being spent.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's just a very standard agreement, before you leave today, pick up your trash, and the room should look like it when you came to the room. It's pretty much just a courtesy type agreement. So it's nothing money-wise or anything involved in that agreement. So I'll sign that so they have a recent signature on that. So that business is taken care of then.
There was one verbal addendum from Hillary, and she said, under no circumstances should we unplug the ice machine.
Yeah. Okay. So the one thing I maybe missed out at the beginning of the meeting is we didn't pass anything about the time of the meeting being 7:30 rather than 7 p.m. Do we have to do a notification and then we can vote on it in December to make it effective in January? Is that my understanding?
Yes.
So how do we do the notification? And who will do that?
Before you arrived, Joe Johnson issued the notice for us to vote. So we will consider ourselves duly noticed, and it will be in the minutes as well. So there will be a written record of that.
Okay. Good. Okay, moving on to any new business. Anybody have any new business?
Yes. Sorry, I was just taking a sec to unmute. I move that administrative access to all official LPCO social media accounts be restricted exclusively to duly elected LPCO executive board members. The reasoning is that current management presents a conflict of interest due to ongoing litigation involving the individual in question, and this exposes the party to legal risk and has led to creative control issues affecting the LPCO's public image. Restricting access to elected officers would restore accountability, protect the party from some liability, and ensure consistent professional communication that we've seen start to lack a little on some fronts.
Okay. Are you making a motion or is that just a comment?
No, that's a motion. That's a motion. I move that administrative access be restricted to elected board members. That was the opening.
Okay. Do we have, okay. And then you add extra. So anybody have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Kirsten. Okay. Any discussion?
Who was the motion maker?
It was
me, Mark. membership.
Any discussion? Hear none. We have a vote.
I object.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Vadney's purview, and he has assigned people to assist him, and we do not need a restriction.
Yes, but unfortunately, the person chosen to assist him has ongoing litigation with the party, which is a bit of a conflict of interest, or has had litigation with the party, and it can present a conflict of interest.
And people on this board have had litigation with other people on the board to try to intimidate them for the convention.
Okay. Yeah, please let me recognize you to speak. And so I'm going to repeat the motion again, ask for more discussion, but the motion was to move, to have the admin, maybe say that again, Mark, you had, or Jeff, whoever has it written down.
Yeah, sure. I move that administrative access to all official LPCO social media accounts be restricted exclusively to duly elected LPCO executive board members.
Okay, and you're talking mostly to the communications director?
I mean, I think that also I've noticed that a lot of us have gotten locked out of social media, and historically we had the legislative director able to post legislative updates. I would like to be able to post stuff for membership drives and such. So it's about both making sure that the entire board has access so that we can help drive our initiatives as board members, and to make sure that we don't have unprofessional representation of our party image.
Okay.
I'd like to hear Sean.
Discussion?
Sorry. I'd like to hear Sean Vadney's comments on this motion.
Yeah, I am opposed to this motion. I personally like, having Miss Harlos helping me out. It's been very helpful to my operations. So I am against this motion.
Any other discussion?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we can hear you.
So it has been pointed out to me that since this is a bylaw mandated responsibility, that the board doesn't actually have the authority to change the bylaw mandated duty assigned to the communications director. So this motion is out of order.
Okay. Michael Vance.
I'd like to, I've got some concerns about the blocking of people on Twitter specifically. I know a lot of people who are sustaining members of the party have been blocked, and I'd like to see those people get unblocked and freed from that. I mean, criticism is a criticism, and we've always seen it. In fact, I believe one of the very first tweets from the new board was, reach out to us if you've been blocked, and now we're seeing a lot of blocks. So I'm concerned about that. I know that that's turned into some people that were following party members of the party no longer wanting to work with the party and no longer giving us funds. And I know that earlier we talked about the funding concerns specifically for the convention. So I'd like to see us be able to keep every single dollar that we possibly have. So yeah, I think it would be best if we go ahead, if we could do something about getting these people unblocked.
Okay. Any other discussion? So we have a motion. Does anybody object or abstain from this motion?
I object.
Okay.
Sorry, Keith, got a little confused on what the motion is. Is the motion Michael's or is it Mark's?
Can you repeat the motion?
Right. Motion I thought we were on is to have the admin access restricted only to elected board members.
So Jeff had mentioned that the bylaws say we can't do that. What exactly in the bylaws says that, Jeff?
It says that the communication director is responsible for the website and for the social media.
Right. So I'm basically arguing against the delegation of those duties to members because the website and social media are duties that reflect our public image. It's one thing to have a member send a text that one of us creates, but delegating creative duties to membership has created clearly some liability.
The bylaws also authorizes each director to form a committee to fulfill the duties of the director. And I have to say that there's a certain degree of hypocrisy coming from a certain segment of the former board.
Mr. Chairman, I move the previous question.
Okay.
Right.
Do you have a second on that? Do you have a second on the call the question?
Second.
Yeah, all those in favor of calling the question, anybody object to calling the question? Okay, hearing none. The motion is once again to make the admin access restricted to only elected board members. That is the motion. Anybody object to that or abstain?
I already objected.
Yep. So let's take a roll call vote then.
Mr. Vice Chair.
I vote nay.
Secretary votes nay. Treasurer.
Abstain.
Affiliates.
Nay.
Campaigns.
Nay.
Communications.
Nay.
Fundraising.
Nay.
Legislative.
Michael.
Yay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Membership.
Aye.
Outreach.
Aye.
There are 3 ayes, 6 nays, and 1 abstention.
So the motion fails. One comment I'm going to reiterate, which I did at the state convention. I really want us to be professional and especially our social media. It's easy to go down that rabbit hole of just posting stuff that may offend people. And I know it's great for more clicks and more spreading of the word. But if you're posting on our social media, you're posting as the Libertarian Party of Colorado. You're not doing it as an individual. And we want those to be professional. We are a political party. We're not the neighborhood gossip group. So keep that in mind. And I know we already got comments. There's not enough memes, but a lot of those memes, what do they do for us? I mean, we're using it as a tool to communicate and inspire and get people excited about being libertarian. So keep that in mind if you're one of those people that post.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you, Sean.
Can we just some of the comments, all the comments on the X posting have been negative. I mean, I think what this is partly stemming from was a post of armed minorities are harder to oppress with the LGBT whatever flag. And I think that just because people are responding to things negatively doesn't mean they're right. There's definitely a lot of herd thinking and mentality on Twitter, and everyone gets caught up in their emotions and likes to jump on the bandwagon. But I would, before we move on, would like to address the blocking. I do think that blocking from the party account may not be the best path. Muting and letting us scream into the void might be a better option than blocking. I understand that maybe sorry, Sean, I saw you open your mouth as I was looking up, maybe within your purview. but I did just want to bring that back up before we move on.
I'll discuss that with Miss Harlos.
Okay. All right. Any other new business anybody has? Hearing none. Yep, Doug.
Real quick, are we
Or
done?
Mike, sorry, Michael.
Can we just make it clear because it did seem a little bit muddied? I get it if it's a no, but can we just real quick? I motion to unblock the people who are blocked, specifically sustaining members on Twitter.
So a motion to unblock the blocked people on Twitter or X. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a second by Mark. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Mark Nilsson.
So Mr. Vance and made the motion and Mr. Nilsson seconded.
Correct.
Discussion. I trust Sean's judgment, so I'd oppose this one.
I need to discuss this further with Ms. Harlos before I'm gonna go ahead and abstain on this one. I know there were some allegations of harassment. I need to see exactly what's going on before I can make a comment on this.
Can I motion to table this one to the next meeting so that Sean can have time to meet and then
Second.
we can vote then?
So Allison moves to postpone this till December meeting, and Joe Johnson seconded.
Mm-hmm.
I call the question.
Yeah, any objections or abstain from this motion? Hearing none, we will talk about this next month. And just an idea for you, Sean, I don't know if you can, if someone's sort of just doing some bad communicating on X, if you can, maybe the first warning, you give them a 30-day ban or something, and then you say, okay, after 30 days, we'll let you back on or whatever. If you have some rules like that, rather than just, ban them for life, but because sometimes people get a little bit excited on social media. I don't know why, but they might just need a little time out.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good way of going about it. I will definitely discuss that with Ms. Harlos.
Thank you.
Chair, if I may.
Sorry to piggyback on that, Sean, not to tell you what to do, but it may be beneficial if that came in the board report. So if you had any recommendations or set any rules or anything like that, we could see that ahead of time so that if we did want to vote on something, we didn't have to discuss it in depth.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Joe.
I'm an ardent supporter of the First Amendment, but I am also a board member, and the image of the Libertarian Party of Colorado is vitally important to me. So I do believe that we need to set up a set of rules, and you violate these rules after X number of time, and then you are then and only then do you get blocked.
Okay, thank you.
And just sorry, I'm chit-chatty, Keith. Freedom of speech is from the government, not from the LPCO. So I mean, while we can all support our First Amendment rights, the LPCO is not the government, and we cannot infringe on your right to
Well, I
speak.
agree with that, but we're born with the freedom of speech, and the government doesn't give me that freedom.
Well,
I
yes,
guess
absolutely.
But
But neither does the LPCO, and they can tell you to go away and it not be a suppression of your right to speak.
Well, we'll talk about more of this next month, it sounds like. So any other new business before we adjourn? Anybody move to adjourn? Do we move to adjourn?
We don't really need to. We're at the end of the agenda.
Yeah, we're out of items. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Good meeting. And next month, I guess we'll plug in at 7, and Doug, maybe we'll set up the agenda. You can run some items before I show up at 7:30 after I get out of teaching class. So, but I encourage your board members to get your board reports in. And Jeff wants them by Wednesday, then you get a good agenda put together and have everything attached with agenda and get to you, by Friday or Saturday, whatever our timeline is, and that you have time to review everything before the meeting. So that makes the meetings go a little quicker. So thank you, everybody. See you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye, guys. Thank you.